Hey everyone, today is July 2nd and just a few days away from 4th of July. So I know a lot of you are getting ready to do your travels and to celebrate, be with family and friends. And the theme of freedom always pops up for me, but particularly around this holiday. So when I think about freedom, I think about just recently watching the debates and the hope that exists with all the people listening to the different candidates and trying to get a handle on, who is promising or offering or gives the glimmer of hope or who will carry through the agendas and all of those kinds of things. And perhaps all of it is to try to have freedom in some way. Regardless of whether we see it as positive or negative, but pretty much everybody is looking for that in some way. And then I think about freedom, and all the different causes out there that will free us up more, and conscious movements. And then I think about within. And that's really, I think, the message that is always trying to come forth in some way. And at PureEsperanza, this is a message that we carry to empower individuals to find their presence, their own authorship of their life, and the freedom within. Free mind, free ability to create life. And that's the work of life, to find that moment when, or moments when we recognize in our awareness that there's parts of us that are confined, restricted, that we limit, that we condition in so many different ways. And the only way to really break through that freedom is to be able to be in those moments, to understand those different feelings that we have. And it's been an experience to also perceive that at some moment we decide that we can change that. We can change the energy around that feeling that we have, especially if it's uncomfortable, and that we can lift that up somehow. And employ lots of different ways, because over the life we go about gathering a basket, and we're gathering all these good practices that we can go ahead and apply. And yet, most of us use fractions of all those practices and all the things that we learn. But if we really give our attention and our energy over to it, I can pull out of my hat, just like a little later today, going into the park. And even if it's just a quick walk or a long walk, I can take that moment to really be in it. And a little later today, I'm going to post a little walk through the park, and I'm going to post down that a little caption like, have you been able to give yourself 10 seconds to really be in the fullness of the moment? And I'm going to do that practice myself because I need to. I find all the time that I'm needing to practice. Life is happening for me like it is for everyone. Oftentimes, challenges come, and it's really easy to be feeling really in the groove and feeling wonderful when everything seems to be collaborating and cooperating together. But inevitably we do come up against these moments where we feel that push, that tension of some kind, whether it's with individuals around us, the situations around us, and it really is just calling us to have a deeper awareness of what's happening, because we can see these things out here, and we can make lots of choices to change it, to move away from it, but really it comes down to what we are perceiving inside and what our understanding is of that situation. So some of the practices that I think are really helpful are in that moment where we still ourselves and really enter into the consciousness. And this is something that can be done at any point in time. It can be done around thousands and millions of people, like it's going to be in a couple of days here in Chicago with the fireworks. It can be done quietly in nature. but we develop a sense of what that means to enter into that place where we can become still. Now, there are a lot of situations that we can move away from, but sometimes those really close relationships to ourselves, the ones that are our family or friends, these are kind of like life contracts in many ways. And it's not so easy just to move away from them. And we do have to make different choices that are about really honoring and loving ourselves, and in the context of different individuals, how we engage with them or the situations that we have, work situations, all kinds of things. But finding all the ways to employ, to shift your thoughts. And that doesn't mean that they just suddenly go away, because it's a practice. It is a practice like anything else. If any of you have ever done piano and practiced on the piano, you learn how to stretch your fingers and how to hit the right keys, and you do it over and over and over again. And that's true for any practice, any practice at all. And so, first and foremost comes into the awareness: what do I want for my experience? And in that, we somehow come into this moment where we go, I want the joy, I want the happiness, I want to live in freedom, in total freedom. And that alone right there opens the door and the way for our desire to employ all the practices, because we honor ourselves enough, we love ourselves enough to want to be in this state of the fullness of who we are, and all that alignment that comes with the harmony of being centered in our presence. What is termed by many in many ways, I'll refer to it here as I am. And in this center of alignment is the wisdom, is the love, the joy, all qualities of the soul. And today I would just say, challenge yourself, particularly when you have those feelings that are uncomfortable, unpleasant, or they're brewing around, things occupying your mind. Challenge yourself to break free, to go through it, to be in and go through it and out, because you will find the way, inevitably. The moment you hold that thought, if you alone are needing that support, the individuals, the situations will come to you. But it starts right within you, the desire to want to have that, and out of that, we create. So today, in your creation, find those moments of stillness, find those moments that you can feel into the joy of knowing that you have the power to create it. You have the power to create your life. And as always, in freedom and in love, peace, and blessings.